Today we are talking about the basics of the cooling system. So all combustion engines need to get to and not exceed their operating temperature. To do this, we have to begin with the water pump. The water pump has vanes on the back of it, which spins to pressurize and pump coolant around the engine and back again. The gist of the cooling system is to send water through the entire engine to keep it at its optimal temperature. To actually pump this water through, we have a water pump, which is driven by the rotation of the engine. Now just to clarify, I'm going to be interchanging the words water and coolant. It means pretty much the same thing in this case. So as the coolant passes through the engine, it gets hot. So now we have to cool it down. We do this using a radiator. So as the coolant gets to the radiator, it starts from the top of the radiator. It has passages and these little fins in between the passages. Now these fins catch the air passing through and transfer the heat of the coolant to the surrounding air. So what you can see being installed is the water pump pulley. Now the water pump pulley is connected via a belt to the harmonic balancer. Now if you think back to a previous episode, the harmonic balancer is directly connected to the crankshaft. In other words, as long as the engine is turning, the harmonic balancer is turning, the water pump pulley will continuously turn and the water pump will provide pressure to the rest of the engine. But how do we get the engine to just stay at this nice optimal temperature? Well, we have to regulate it. Now the regulator is otherwise known as a thermostat. Now it gets hot and opens and closes when it's too cold. It does this using a wax pellet, which as it gets warm, expands, it pushes on a spring and opens up a gate in the thermostat. It does this at a specific temperature which changes from thermostat to thermostat. So coolant can also keep oil at a stable temperature by passing it through an oil cooler. This is a stock oil cooler for my 1JZ, but most stock oil coolers work the same. Coolant passes through mini vanes as the oil passes through the filter, and there's a heat exchange between the oil and the water. Now, the water and the oil don't mix, they're actually in separate chambers. If they ever do mix, very, very bad. You end up with a milky substance and the entire engine needs to be completely flushed out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If there's any questions you have, please let me know in the comments, and remember, knowledge is horsepower.